Hello everybody, this is DJ Squeekr, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. It's not exactly a gaming video, but it is related to a game. One of my favorite childhood games ever. It passed the time for me, brought me very good memories. Pokemon. I'm doing my top 10 favorite Pokemon from the first generation. Alright, now most of you, not many didn't like Pokemon, say it's a kid's game, but for me, Pokemon was basically my childhood. I played that all the time. It was such a fun game to me. And I still play it even today. It's a fun game to play, it passes the time, and I've loved it since I was a kid. So today I'm doing the first 150 Pokemon from the first generation, like I just said. That is all the way from Bulbasaur to Mewtwo. Number 10! My number 10 favorite Pokemon, is from this generation anyway, has got to be Onix. Most of you are saying, well, Onix isn't that good in the first generation. He can't evolve into Steelix yet. Well, I just liked him. He was a giant, awesome rock boulder snake, and he was on the show and in the game. He was just so cool looking to me. I had one all the time with me and my team of 6. He was a good Pokemon to have back then. He had one of the highest defense ratings and attack rating. I mean, he was a decent Pokemon. Most people disagree for this because, you know, his stats aren't the best, and he didn't have a really good move pool. But I enjoyed him. He was a fun guy to have. I mean, he looked cool. He was just awesome all around, and I don't know. He was just a fun Pokemon to have. I don't have real much more to say about him. Number 9! My number 9 favorite Pokemon from the first generation is going to be Scyther. I really like Scyther, and I know a lot of you did too, because he was really cool. He was this praying mantis Pokemon, these awesome blade arms. He was just, in the show, he was awesome. I mean, when you play Pokemon Snap like I do, he came out in the grass a couple times, and it was just really cool. He was an awesome Pokemon. He had decent stats, he was a sweeper, he had speed, and he had attack over everything. He was great in the game, he was awesome in the show. He appeared in a couple really cool ways in Pokemon Snap where you had to, like, find him. He was a great Pokemon to find and have. I mean, I enjoyed him thoroughly. He was an awesome Pokemon. Number 8! My number 8 favorite Pokemon from the first generation is going to be Venomoth. And I know a lot of you guys probably didn't like Venomoth. He's kind of underused. I mean, I enjoyed him because he could learn Hypnosis, he could learn Psychic, and he wasn't even a Psychic type. He was a Bug Poison. So that was really cool to me. And he was really useful in Pokemon Stadium too. He was an awesome Pokemon to have in that game because, like, no Pokemon didn't really have levels in that game. It was just your Pokemon. You had the Pokemon and it no moves. And I enjoyed my Venomoth. He was a great Pokemon. When you fought the Poison Gym Leader, he had that. And except in Fire Red and Leaf Green, he didn't have that. The Psychic Gym Leader had one for some reason, and I don't know what the heck they were thinking there in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. But in Pokemon Red and Blue, he had one. And Koga was his name. He had an Ariados, which was also a good one. Or an Ariados. Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of the wrong Gym Leader, I do believe. But he was just, I don't know, but Venomoth he was badass. He really was. He was so cool. Sludge Bomb, Psychic, Hypnosis. His stats were really good. He had high special attack. And yeah, that's my number 8 Pokemon. Number 7! My number 7 favorite Pokemon from the first generation is another Pokemon starting with the letter V. That is Venusaur, the grass starter from the first generation. I was absolutely in love with him. Everyone of my friends chose either Squirtle or Charmander. I went with Bulbasaur, and he was just my favorite. I don't even like Charizard that much, and he is not on my top 10. So if you're here just because you think I'm going to like Charizard, we can all agree on that, you can skip away because I don't like Charizard very much. Venusaur was awesome though. You can combine him with Sleep Powder, Leech Seed. He was awesome. He was a great Pokemon to have, and his stats were decent. He had a great move pool, and you got through the game so easily with him. Even beating Blaine wasn't that hard with him because of all those DOT moves that he had. Number 6! My number 6 favorite Pokemon for the first generation is Nidoqueen and really Nidoking. Just the Nidos in general. Like, I love Nidoqueen more than Nidoking, but I'm going to put them at the same on number 6, because Nidoqueen has much better stats than Nidoking. Nidoking just has an amazing move pool. And really, it was harder to get them because you had to find the moonstones, and like moonstones were kind of hard. I mean, the first one was easy to find, but after that, it was like you had to go out and search for them. And I had Nido King and Nido Queen in my party. Nido Queen was just she was a bamf. She really was. She was my favorite. She was my favorite of the Nidos. And she was just a damn good Pokemon to have. She's pretty cool in the show. And Giovanni has a Nido Queen and a Nido King at the very end of the game, along with a Kangaskhan and a Sandslash, I do believe. And they're fun. They're good to have. Nido King has that awesome move pool. He can learn Thunder. He can learn Surf. He's a badass. And Nido Queen just has those awesome stats. Number 5. My number 5 favorite Pokemon from this generation is Rapidash. I mean, come on. It's a freaking horse with a mane of fire. How can you not like this Pokemon? It is badass to the core. I mean, the stats are iffy. They're not super good. They're pretty good, but they're not the best. And, you know, you have to get a Ponyta at level 45 in order to get a Rapidash. Kinda hard. But overall, Rapidash is freaking awesome. It's this like horse unicorn, and its speed stat is awesome. It's a sweeper. It's a fire type, and a lot of people from this generation love the fire types of this generation. I, for one, the only fire type that I really was like overall impressed with, besides another one that's coming up, was Rapidash. And Rapidash was just it was a damn good Pokemon. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. Rapidash was just so cool looking to me as a kid. Number 4! My number 4 favorite Pokemon from the first generation is Cloyster. A lot of people are like, well, why Cloyster? And to me, because he was awesome, dude. He was this big tank. I mean, he was so cool. He was this big thing. He shot ice shards and water out of that big-ass horn on him. He was just, and I love ice types. Ice types are awesome. They're kind of underused, but ice types are cool. And Cloyster was just really cool in my mind. He was this big, awesome, spiky ball thing. He had this like shadow for a face. I don't know. I really, really enjoyed Cloyster. I like using him in the game, even though he has no special defense. But he was cool. He was just so awesome. And to find a Cloyster in Pokemon Snap was actually pretty hard. All right. I'm not going to tell you how, because, you know, if you haven't played Pokemon Snap, you need to go play it, you need to find out for yourself, because Pokemon Snap is awesome. And Cloyster was so cool. Number 3! My number 3 favorite Pokemon from this generation is Vaporeon. My favorite evolution to this day is still Vaporeon. I love this Pokemon. It was awesome. I always had one in my party. That special defense stat was through the roof, and that HP. She was just an awesome Pokemon, alright? I loved Vaporeon. It was my one. I didn't choose Jolteon. I didn't choose Flareon. I chose freaking Vaporeon. It was just, I don't know. Something about her. She looked cool on the show. She sounded cool. She was adorable. Like this little mermaid creature dog thing. It was awesome, okay? Vaporeon is the shit. Number 2! My number 2 favorite Pokemon from this generation is Lapras. Because you could only get one from that person in the game. You could not go catch one. You could only get one. And it was this really cool, like, dinosaur thing. It was awesome. It was like the first dinosaur Pokemon besides Aerodactyl. But it was so cool. I mean, you didn't have to get a fossil. It was this freaking epic thing. It was so cool. It was a water ice. Well, in the first generation, I do believe it was just water. I don't believe there was able to be. But in the second generation, it became a water ice. I know it did. And it was, I was just in love with Lapras. It can learn Ice Beam, Aurora Beam, Surf, freaking Waterfall. It's a great Pokemon. And it's got, also, to this day, it's got good stats. It's awesome. It can learn Toxic, Attract, Mid. Oh, dude, it was a great Pokemon. It's a great tank to have. It's time for DJ Squeekr's number 1 favorite Pokemon of the first generation, and also my favorite Pokemon of all time! Alright, now, this is not only my favorite Pokemon of the first generation. As I just said, this is my favorite Pokemon of all time. And it's not one Pokemon. It is a Pokemon and its evolution, because I cannot choose between them. They are my favorite Pokemon. I cannot choose them. They're so awesome. Vulpix and Ninetales. My two favorite Pokemon. I can't tell you how much I enjoy these Pokemon. Vulpix is the cutest little fox ever. And then you've got Ninetales, this badass freaking fox that has a shit ton of tails. It's a beautiful creature, and it has so much psychic power stored up inside. If you read the Pokédex entry, it's a Pokemon that can live almost forever with insane psychic power. Each tail, if it lifts its tail like 1,000, if someone touches its tail, 1,000 years of bad luck happen upon them. It is such a cool Pokemon. Honestly, I think this thing should have been a special one. Like, it can learn so many different moves. It can learn Shadow. It can learn Ghost, Psychic. It can learn. Its move pool is awesome for a fire type. Most fire types have really shitty move pools. You know, it's like really only fire types can ever learn like maybe a flying move, fire, maybe a fighting, and a normal. That's about it. Ninetales, no. Her move pool is just epic sauce. I get a Ninetales in every single game. Except for the second game, because you can't catch a fucking Vulpix. But, yes, Ninetales, and Vulpix are just, they're awesome. They're my favorite Pokemon of all time. I will never, ever love another Pokemon more than them. They are just so awesome, and it will forever be my favoriteest Pokemon in the whole wide world. Let me tell you. Thank you for watching, everybody. This was DJ Squeekr. I should be uploading another video before the second generation Pokemon. I didn't really like the second generation too much. It's nowhere near my favorite. I did not like it. I did enjoy it, but it was nowhere near my favorite. But thank you for watching, everybody. This has been DJ Squeekr, and I hope you have a wonderful day, my little cholas.
I will travel across the land, searching far and wide.